My son signed the papers with the same pen he used to sign my birthday cards. He didn't look at me when he did it. The nurse smiled too brightly, the kind of smile people wear when they're trying to make something feel kind that isn't. "Happy birthday," she said. I was turning 78. The nursing home smelled like disinfectant and overcooked vegetables. The walls were beige in a way that suggested time had given up trying to matter here. My son stood near the door, keys already in his hand. "I'll visit," he said quickly. "Once things settle. Things. Always things." I looked down at the papers. My name. My signature shaky, but still mine. A room number I didn't recognize. No cake. No flowers. No card. Just a pen passed back to him, like a receipt. "You didn't even bring my coat?" I said quietly. He frowned, annoyed. "Mom, don't start." Start. As if this were a conversation we were about to have. "I'll call you," he added, already stepping into the hallway. The automatic doors opened, closed. Just like that, my birthday ended. In the room they gave me, there was a narrow bed, a small dresser, and a window that faced a parking lot. A balloon tied to the handrail from someone else's celebration bobbed sadly in the corner. I sat down and waited for the tears. They didn't come. What came instead was something colder. Clarity. That night, my roommate asked, "Did your family visit today?" "Yes," I said. She smiled. "That's nice." I didn't correct her. A week later, the administrator called me into her office. She looked confused, then stunned, then pale. "Mrs. Harris," she said slowly, "are you sure this is your ticket?" I stared at the numbers on the screen, the same ones I'd bought every month for 20 years. Out of habit, out of hope, out of boredom. "Yes," I said. "Why?" She swallowed. "Because," she said, "you just won the lottery." The room went very quiet. Not the nursing home quiet. The kind of quiet that changes the shape of your life. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't call my son. I smiled. For the first time since my birthday, because I already knew exactly what I was going to do next. I didn't tell anyone. Not the nurse who brought my pills. Not the roommate who asked too many gentle questions. Not even the administrator who kept glancing at me like I might suddenly disappear. Especially not my son. The lottery office arranged everything discreetly. A private room. A quiet lawyer. No cameras. No oversized checks. They asked if I wanted publicity. I laughed. "No," I said. "I want peace." They nodded like they understood exactly what that meant. The money didn't hit my account all at once. That would have felt unreal, dangerous. Instead, it arrived in clean, legal steps, trusts, deposits, safeguards. The lawyer spoke carefully. "You should notify your next of kin," she said gently. I smiled. "I already did," I replied. She hesitated. "You did?" "Yes," I said. "By letting him leave." That night, I lay in my narrow bed and stared at the ceiling. For the first time since my husband died, I didn't feel afraid of the future. I felt curious. The next morning, I changed my phone number. Not dramatically, just quietly. I kept the old phone turned off in the drawer, let it hold whatever messages might come. The new number went to exactly 3 people. The lawyer, the bank, and myself. Days passed. Then a week. My son didn't visit. Didn't call. Didn't check. That hurt more than I expected. And then it didn't. I started watching the staff more closely. Who rushed? Who listened? Who treated time like something shared instead of spent? I noticed how easily people revealed who they were when they thought you had nothing. One afternoon, a nurse named Elena sat with me longer than her shift allowed. "You don't get many visitors," she said softly. "I used to," I replied. She didn't ask why I stopped. That mattered. I asked the administrator for a meeting. She looked nervous when I said I wanted to talk about my care plan. I'd like to upgrade. I said. Her eyebrows rose. Mrs. Harris, there's a waiting list. I'll wait, I said, but not here. Within days, arrangements were made. A different facility. Private room. Windows that faced trees instead of asphalt. Still quiet. Still discreet. Still minne. I packed my few belongings myself. 2 sweaters. A framed photo of my husband. A book I'd never finished. I left the birthday balloon behind. On the day I moved, my old phone buzzed for the first time. 1 missed call. My son. No message. I turned the phone off again. That evening, in my new room, I called the lawyer. I want to update my will, I said. She didn't sound surprised. Who are the beneficiaries? She asked. I looked out the window at the trees moving gently in the wind. People who stay, I said. Not people who leave. She paused, then said, I'll draft it. That night, I slept deeply. Not because everything was finished, but because it had finally begun. My son noticed my absence, the way people notice a missing lamp only after the room feels darker. It began with a voicemail on the old phone. Mom, call me, he said. No apology, no concern, just irritation wrapped in familiarity. They said you're not there anymore. They. As if I were a misplaced file. I didn't return the call. I watched from a distance instead, through updates the administrator forwarded, through a quiet note from the receptionist, who still remembered my birthday. He came by, she wrote. Asked questions. Didn't stay long. That sounded like him. I focused on my days. Breakfasts with sunlight. Physical therapy that didn't rush me. Conversations that didn't end mid-sentence. I learned the names of the birds outside my window. I finished the book I'd carried for years. I laughed once out loud and surprised myself. A second voicemail came 3 days later. Mom, this isn't funny. Call me back. Still no apology. Still no question that mattered. I met with the lawyer that afternoon. We spread documents across a table that smelled faintly of lemon polish. Are you sure? She asked, gently, tapping the draft. I'm sure about what I'm doing, I said. I'm not sure about what he'll do when he finds out. She nodded. That's usually how it goes. We refined the will carefully. Not out of spite. Out of precision. Charities I'd supported quietly for years. The nurse who sat with me when she didn't have to. A scholarship fund at the community college where I'd once taught night classes. I left my son something, too. A letter. No money. Just words. Do you want him to receive it now? The lawyer asked. I shook my head. When he's ready to read it, I said. Not when he's angry. That evening, my son found me the only way he knew how. Through money. The bank called. Someone had tried to access my accounts using outdated credentials. It failed. An alert was sent. I smiled. I changed one more thing that night. I added a clause. Any attempt to coerce, misrepresent, or pressure would delay distributions indefinitely. Not punish, delay. The next morning, there was a knock at my door. Not the old door, the new one. I opened it. He stood there, surprised, truly surprised by how well I looked. Where have you been? He asked. I stepped aside. Living, I said. He looked around the room. The light, the space, the calm. This place isn't cheap, he said. I know, I replied. Silence stretched between us. They said you left without telling anyone, he said. I told the people who stayed, I replied. He sat down heavily. I didn't think you'd actually disappear, he said. I met his eyes. I didn't disappear, I said. I stopped waiting. He opened his mouth, then closed it. For the first time, he didn't know what to say. Outside, the birds moved from branch to branch. Inside, something shifted. Not reconciliation. Reality? I poured 2 cups of tea, set one in front of him. Drink, I said. Then listen. He did. I won the lottery, I said calmly. His cup froze halfway to his lips. And just like that, the truth entered the room. He stared at me as if I'd switched languages. The lottery? He repeated too slowly. Yes, I said. A week after my birthday. He set the cup down. His hands were steady. His face wasn't. How much? He asked. I waited a beat, long enough for the question to echo back to him. Enough, I said. He laughed sharp, disbelieving. You're joking. I shook my head. The room filled with a silence that had nothing to do with age or illness. This silence had weight. It demanded choices. So, he said, leaning forward, lowering his voice as if we were negotiating. That's why you moved. That's why you changed your number. I didn't correct him. I moved, I said, because I was left. I changed my number because people who want me usually know how to reach me. He blinked. That's not fair, he said. No, I agreed. It's accurate. He ran a hand through his hair, recalibrating. I could almost see the calculations forming, the angles he used when he thought money was the problem and charm was the solution. You could have told me, he said. You could have stayed, I replied. He exhaled hard. You don't understand how hard things have been. I nodded. I do. I lived them, just without leaving anyone behind. He looked around again at the window, the books, the way the lights sat easily in the room. You're comfortable, he said. I'm respected, I corrected. There's a difference. He swallowed. So what happens now? Now we were getting somewhere. Now, I said. We set terms. He stiffened. Terms? Yes, I said. Not conditions, not punishments. Terms. I stood and walked to the window, then back to the chair across from him. I wanted him to hear this while seated, grounded, unable to pace it away. First, I said, I don't move again because it's convenient for you. He opened his mouth. I raised a hand. Second, money is not how we talk. If you bring it up, the conversation ends. His jaw tightened. Third, I continued, I decide when and how we meet. Not guilt, not obligation. He leaned back, crossing his arms, defensive now. And the will? He asked. I met his eyes. The will reflects presence, I said. Not blood, presence, he scoffed softly. So I have to earn being your son? No, I replied. You have to act like one. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then quietly, I didn't think you'd ever stop. I sat down again. Neither did I. He rubbed his face, the fight draining out of him. I was overwhelmed, he said. I thought the nursing home was temporary. It was, I said, for me. He looked up sharply. You're punishing me. I shook my head. I'm protecting myself. We sat there, the truth between us like a third chair. Finally, he stood. I need time, he said. So do I replied. At the door, he hesitated. You really changed your will? Yes, I said. To who? He asked. I smiled, not unkindly. People who didn't leave me on my birthday. After he left, I sat alone and felt something unexpected. Relief. Not because I'd won anything, because I'd finally stopped negotiating my worth. The attention didn't arrive all at once. It seeped in. A distant cousin I hadn't spoken to in years sent a cheerful message about catching up. A former neighbor suddenly remembered my birthday late, but enthusiastic. Even the old church newsletter called, asking if I'd like to be featured in a donor spotlight. I declined everything. Money makes people remember your name, but it rarely teaches them how to say it with care. My son tested the terms the following week. Not directly. Strategically, he showed up with groceries. Organic. Expensive. The kind of peace offering that looks thoughtful from a distance. I brought these, he said, setting the bags down. You shouldn't have to worry about basics. I don't, I replied, smiling. But thank you. He nodded, unsure where to place himself now that I wasn't impressed or indebted. Visalt. We talked about neutral things. Weather, traffic, the way the birds had returned to the trees outside my window. He waited for an opening. I didn't give him one. Eventually, he tried. I heard you might be setting up some kind of foundation, he said lightly. I might, I replied. For education? He asked. For stability, I said. Education is one form of it. He leaned back. That's generous. It's intentional, I corrected. He watched me carefully, then asked, Do you think there's a chance things could go back to how they were? I looked at him for a long moment. No, I said, but there's a chance they could go forward if you stop trying to steer. He didn't argue. That was new. The lawyer called later that day. There's interest, she said. People who want meetings, proposals, partnerships. Filter, I replied. By what? She asked. By patience, I said. Anyone who rushes doesn't get through. She laughed softly. Understood. I began to notice who stayed without needing updates. Elena, the nurse, brought me a paperback she thought I'd like. My walking group waited when I fell behind. The archivist asked my opinion, then listened. None of them knew numbers. They knew me. One evening, my son called. I messed up at work, he said quietly. Nothing catastrophic, just my fault. I listened, didn't fix it, didn't suggest solutions. When he finished, I said, I'm sorry. That sounds hard. There was a long pause. Thank you, he said, for not turning it into a lecture. I'm done lecturing, I replied. I'm practicing being present. The next morning, I signed the first documents for the foundation. Not large, not flashy, focused. As the pen moved across the page, I realized something that surprised me. Winning the lottery hadn't changed my life. Being left had. The money simply gave me room to respond honestly. My son came by again a few days later. No groceries, no question, just himself. We drank tea, watched the birds, said little. When he stood to leave, he hesitated. I'm trying, he said. I see that, I replied. Keep trying, without expecting applause. He nodded, left quietly. That night, I wrote one more note to myself and placed it in my drawer. Wealth doesn't prove worth, but it reveals how much you've been giving away. I slept well. The foundation didn't announce itself. It emerged. Quiet filings, measured transfers, a board small enough to hear one another breathe. I insisted on that. The first rule was simple: no urgency. Anyone who needed an answer now wasn't aligned with what I was building. Stability takes time. So does trust. The second rule was harder: no family favors. That one stayed unspoken, but it shaped everything. A local paper caught wind of the win anyway. They always do. The headline was kind, harmless, focused on age and luck and perseverance. It didn't name numbers. It didn't mention where I lived. But it traveled. My phone rang. Not my new number, the lawyer's. She's getting requests, he told me. Some genuine, some less so. Filter, I said again. And your son? He asked gently. I'll handle that, I replied. I told my son about the foundation over lunch. Not as an invitation, as information. He listened without interrupting this time. That was new too. So, you're really doing this, he said. Making something permanent. Yes, I said. Something that doesn't depend on mood or memory. He nodded slowly. I won't ask to be involved, he said. I know better now. I studied his face. Good, I said, because involvement is earned by showing up when there's nothing to gain. He swallowed. Does that mean ever? It means not today, I replied. A week later, the foundation made its first public move. A small grant. Local. unremarkable to outsiders, life-changing to the recipient. The applause came anyway. Invitations followed, panels, interviews, smiling people with ideas that arrived already dressed as favors. I declined most. I accepted one. On the night of the event, my son offered to drive me. I hesitated, then agreed. We rode in silence for a while. Finally, he said, "You look different." "Do I?" I asked. "Calmer," he said. "Like you're not waiting for something." "I stopped waiting," I replied. At the venue, someone mistook him for my assistant. He corrected them quickly. "I'm her son," he said. They smiled politely and moved on. He didn't chase the moment. That mattered. Later, as we stood near the back listening to speeches, he leaned over. "I used to think success meant control," he said quietly. "Now I think it means restraint." I looked at him. "That's a hard lesson," I said, "but it sticks." On the drive home, he asked something he hadn't before. "What do you need from me?" he said. "Not what can I get. Not what do I deserve. Need." I thought carefully. "Consistency," I said. "Honesty. And the ability to hear no without trying to change it." He nodded. "I can do that," he said. I didn't answer. Time would. That night, I updated the Foundation's charter. Not with names, with principles. Presence over proximity. Care over convenience. Staying over, showing up late. When I closed the document, I felt a familiar steadiness, the kind I hadn't felt since before my birthday. Before the doors closed behind me, winning the lottery had given me options. Being left had given me clarity. And clarity, I was learning, is what makes staying meaningful. The spotlight faded faster than it arrived. It always does. The calls slowed. The invitations stopped. The smiles that had been too bright learned where else to go. That's when life tells the truth. My son lost his job in early spring. Not dramatically. No scandal. Just a quiet restructuring email and a cardboard box. He didn't call me right away. That mattered. When he did, his voice wasn't urgent. "I wanted you to hear it from me," he said. "I'm okay. I have some savings. I'll figure it out." I waited. He didn't ask for help. I felt something loosen in my chest. Days passed. Then weeks. He sent short updates. Interviews. Rejections. One promising lead that fell through. I listened. I didn't intervene. Staying, I learned, isn't rescuing. One afternoon, he showed up unannounced. Not at my door. At the park near my building. He sat beside me on the bench, staring straight ahead. "I messed up," he said finally. "Not just now. Back then. I didn't speak. I left you because it was easier," he continued. "I told myself you'd be fine. I needed that to be true." I closed my eyes. "Yes," I said. "You did." He nodded, jaw tight. "I don't expect forgiveness," he said. "I just didn't want to keep pretending." That was new. That was costly. A month later, he found work. Not glamorous. Lower pay. Long hours. He didn't complain. He showed up tired and honest. On my birthday, he arrived early. With the cake he'd baked himself. Uneven frosting. Slightly burned edges. "I remembered," he said quietly. I looked at the cake, then at him. "I see that," I replied. We ate in silence. Not awkward. Settled. Later that night, alone, I opened the drawer where I kept the updated will. I didn't change anything. Not yet. Trust doesn't move on dates. It moves on patterns. The Foundation approved another grant. Small, precise. I signed it without ceremony. Legacy, I realized, is built in increments. My son walked me home after dinner. At the door, he hesitated. "I'm staying in town," he said, "in case you need anything. I met his eyes. If I do, I said, I'll ask. He nodded. And for the first time, he didn't offer more than that. That night, I slept deeply. Not because everything was repaired, but because something important had stopped leaking. Staying had begun to cost him comfort, and that was the only price that ever mattered. Time didn't announce the test. It never does. It simply waited until comfort returned, then removed it. It happened on a quiet afternoon. I slipped in the hallway. Nothing dramatic. No broken bones. Just enough pain to remind me how quickly independence can wobble. I pressed the call button. Help arrived. But so did something else. My son. He arrived before the paperwork was finished, before the nurse had finished explaining, before anyone could tell him what to do. He just showed up. Not frantic. Not performative. Present. I'm here, he said. Not what happened. Not are you okay? Just, I'm here. He stayed. Through the waiting, through the reassurances, through the boredom that follows when danger passes. He didn't check his phone every 5 minutes. He didn't look for instructions. He listened. Later that evening, as I rested, he sat at the small table and sorted papers I hadn't gotten to yet. Do you want me to handle these? He asked. No, I said. But thank you for asking. He nodded and stopped. That mattered. In the days that followed, he didn't move in. He didn't hover. He checked in once a day, at the same time. Not to monitor, to connect. Consistency without control. The lawyer called midweek. Do you want to revisit the will? She asked. I thought about it. No, I said. I want to observe. She smiled through the phone. That's usually the right answer. Restoration, I realized, isn't reversal. It doesn't put things back the way they were. It builds something new out of what survived. My son began doing small things. Notgestuures. Tasks. He fixed the loose handle on the balcony door, replaced a light bulb I couldn't reach, learned which tea I liked without asking again. None of it required money. All of it required attention. One evening, he brought dinner. Not takeout. Something he'd cooked. It's not great, he said. It doesn't have to be, I replied. As we ate, he spoke carefully. I used to think being there meant solving things, he said. Now I think it just means not leaving. I met his eyes. That's closer, I said. That night, I opened the drawer again. The will sat where it always had, unchanged. But I added a note, not an amendment. En observation, consistency is the condition. I closed the drawer. A week later, my son missed a day. No call, no massage. Old habits stirred. I waited. The next morning, he showed up early. Sorry, he said. I fell asleep after a double shift. No excuse. No story. Just truth. I nodded. Thank you for telling me, I said. Restoration doesn't feel like triumph. It feels like quiet effort repeated until it becomes trust. I didn't tell him about the note. I didn't need to. Time would. I didn't tell him there was a decision coming. That was the point. Change that needs an audience isn't change. It's performance. So I waited. Months passed. Ordinary ones. The kind where nothing dramatic happens, and that's exactly when patterns reveal themselves. My son kept showing up. Not every day. Not perfectly. But honestly, when he said he'd call, he called. When he couldn't come, he said so before I noticed the absence. He stopped over-explaining. That mattered more than apologies ever had. The foundation grew slowly, deliberately. I stayed out of the spotlight. I attended meetings, asked hard questions, refused easy praise. Legacy, I'd learned, is quieter than ego. One afternoon, my lawyer asked again, "Are you ready to decide?" I looked at the calendar. Not a birthday, not an anniversary, just a Tuesday. Yes, I said, but not how you think. We reviewed the will. Still unchanged. Still fiam. Stimin. I don't want to rewrite it, I said. I want to schedule it. She raised an eyebrow. Schedule? Observation periods, I explained. Not dates, behaviors. She smiled slowly. Your husband would have liked that. I smiled too. That evening, my son came by with groceries. Not expensive, just practical. He put them away without asking. Didn't wait for approval. As he was leaving, I said, sit for a minute. He did. I want you to know something, I said. There's no reward waiting at the end of this. He nodded. I know. No inheritance test. No secret finish line. I understand. I watched him carefully. And you're still here? I asked. He met my eyes. Yes. That answer landed. The next week, he called to say he couldn't visit. I picked up an extra shift, he said. But I'll come tomorrow. You don't have to explain, I replied. I wanted to, he said. That night, I opened the drawer. Not to change anything, just to read what already existed. The will, the notes, the quiet rules I'd written for myself. I realized then that the decision wasn't about giving him anything. It was about stopping myself from holding something back out of fear. The next morning, I called my lawyer. I'm ready, I said. Ready to finalize? She asked. Ready to let the document reflect reality? I replied. When my son arrived later that day, I didn't say anything. I watched him sit with me, drink tea, talk about nothing important. And everything important. Legacy isn't a gift you hand over. It's a truth you allow to continue. I didn't call him into a room. I didn't make an announcement. I finished the will the same way I'd lived the last year, quietly. My lawyer came on a Thursday afternoon. No urgency. No ceremony. We read the document line by line. Not to admire it. To make sure it told the truth. The foundation remained as it was. The safeguards stayed in place. Nothing was undone. Something was added. A provision. Conditional. Behavior-based. Unattached to timelines. Distributions may be adjusted in response to demonstrated consistency, responsibility, and presence. No promises. No entitlements. Just reality, written clearly. When I signed, I didn't feel relief. I felt alignment. That evening, my son came by as usual. He brought nothing. Expected nothing. That's how I knew the timing was right. I updated my estate plans today, I said casually, handing him tea. He nodded. Okay. He didn't ask more. That mattered. I want you to hear this, I continued. Not as a reward, not as a warning. He looked at me. Attentive. You're included, I said. Not because you're my son, because you stayed. He swallowed. But it's not a finish line, I added. It's a reflection. I understand, he said quietly. And this time I believed him. We sat in comfortable silence. No tension. No calculation. Later, alone, I looked around my room. The trees outside the window. The chair by the bed. The life that fit me now. Winning the lottery changed my options. Being left on my birthday changed my direction. I didn't change my number to disappear. I changed it to be found by the right people. Trust, I realized, isn't restored by grand gestures. It's rebuilt by showing up when nothing is guaranteed. I turned off the light and lay down. For the first time since my birthday, the past didn't follow me into sleep. The story didn't end with revenge. It ended with choice. And that was enough.